Okay, I'd like to officially call the scheduled Planning Commission meeting of August 9th, 2018 to order. And please let the record reflect that all Planning Commissioners are in attendance. So if Commissioner Fuentes would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll go ahead and start off with public comments, and anyone wants to address the Planning Commission, if you would address the Planning Commission about an item not listed on the agenda, and you fill out a speaker's request, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes each. Do we have anyone?
Heiko Peschel.
Well, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back.
Been busy. My wife retired this past year, and guess what? The honeydew list has grown amazingly. Ranch. Been a resident of the neighborhood since before it was a neighborhood. 1960, O'Neill Park. Anyway, first of all, I would like to commend the city staff and all of you guys on the marvelous updates and jobs that have been going on out there. I did manage to read tonight's agenda in detail on the internet, and I really appreciate being able to do that. That way I can come in a little bit forewarned and forearmed. I like the changes that are going on, not only in the traffic but in the development, slowing down of the development a little bit, I hope, because we do have a lot of people. So let's make it quick. I do have my name in on a couple of the items, and I'll be back for that. Thank you much.
Thank you. That's all the comments. Do we have some presentation items?
Yes, our first presentation item is the code enforcement, and Darrell Hill is here this evening with that.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission. I'm Darrell Hill with the Code Enforcement Activity Report for the second quarter 2018. During the second quarter, Code Enforcement added 252 new cases to the 23 carried over from the previous quarter in 2018. We closed 178 cases during the same period. And we begin the third quarter of 2018 with an active caseload of 97 cases. I'm prepared to take any questions you may have.
Thank you.
We do have a speaker. Heiko Peschel.
Darrell, thank you very much for the hard work. Heiko Peschel for Perel Foothill Ranch, and I did read his report earlier today. First and foremost, he and the city are doing a good job with my favorite furniture retail sales outlet that plasters the neighborhood every other weekend or so with 30 million signs. Most of them, I'm sure, are not authorized. Also, I remember years ago, and most of you do as well, when we had Mr. Pickle doing his sign waving, and the city said, no, you can't do that. Well, the builders don't seem to think that that fits them, so KB Homes, amongst others, are out there on weekends twirling their signs. And I know Darrell has been pursuing both them and Mazzell, so I want to say thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Moving along, the next item is the Public Works Project Quarterly Update, and Taylor Abernathy is here this evening with this report.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. Again, I'm Taylor Abernathy. I'm the Principal Civil Engineer here. I am responsible for overseeing the Capital Improvement Program. Hope you guys had a chance to take a look at the quarterly report. We're talking about the Public Works Department quarterly report update from April through June of 2018. The program has approximately 33 projects. Some are multi-year projects. They cover our facilities, traffic improvements, street, environmental, and park and recreation projects. Just to kind of highlight a couple of them and then let you guys have, if you have any specific questions, ask. Our Civic Center is actively in construction. We're making progress every day out there, so they're on foundations for buildings and that stuff. So it's nice to see that thing coming along with an anticipated fall of 2019 when we'll actually go and occupy. And then most recently, we've gotten a lot of good pub on the Bacon Tribuco right turn lane project that was recently completed. Residents have really been appreciative of that additional movement that council had requested. So in lieu of going through the rest of them individually, if there's anything specific that you guys have, I'd love to answer any questions.
Yeah, I've got a question. It's about the sidewalk situation. So if you have a sidewalk, and I'm talking of a specific one that's all torn up and chunked up, so I called and they sent somebody out and they put plywood over it and they bolted the plywood down and they got cones around it. My understanding is that since the sidewalk repair contract's done for the year, whatever it is, it could sit that way for like a year, or at least until after January or whatever. Is that correct?
So there is this second one. We just finished the fiscal year 17-18 sidewalk repair rehabilitation project. We do have the 18-19, so there's money. They're working through identifying those locations right now, and they should be putting it out to bid here actually shortly, and it would be done before, I suspect, the end of this year.
Okay. And we contract out for most of that work, right? We don't do anything like that in-house?
Well,
as
we
far
have
as repairs and stuff?
Yeah, we have PV maintenance that does general maintenance repairs, and they will go out on individual basis and that. But this is more of the programmatic side of it, where we have many identified, either grinds and raised or broken sidewalk that we try to package together to get a little more economy of scale versus the one-off that's just not quite as cost effective.
Okay. And I would assume as we look at, either forming our own department or joining together, see if that's cost effective, do we kind of look at to see how we might do more stuff in-house as opposed to if it would be cost effective? You guys kind of look at that now and then, or how?
Yeah, there's always that conversation of when is the right time to bring somebody in-house, when do you have enough workload and that stuff, and so we're balancing that on a regular basis. The management program that is in the works that the city's working on will probably dictate a lot of that coming up, because it will start to identify those assets, the turnover, and then from there you'll look and see what level of service that everybody expects and we need to provide, and from that conversation usually will drive whether you need to bring somebody else or just continue with the contract services.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
We have a speaker, Heiko
That's
Peschel.
it, Heiko.
As I said, I'm just going to have a couple individual items. Taylor, that was a good report. I did read it this afternoon. Several comments on it. The Bake Tribuco intersection is a marvelous job. It was necessary. It's useful. I do see a little bit of traffic backing up, making the left turn from southbound Bake to essentially southbound Tribuco. Other than that, that whole intersection is a lot better. I noticed you also have plans to make a hard median on, Bake east of Portola, uphill from Portola. And that is one dangerous area. Too many scofflaws decide that that's a nice place to make a left turn into the shopping center. The other day I caught both UPS and FedEx making a left turn out of the shopping center there. And I think that would stop if you put a big riser there. Because the folks coming down the hill, they're not doing 35, they're doing 50, 55. And I don't think that they can stop in time. On the opposite end, a couple of minor details. Length of traffic lights in directions seems to be too long in some and not long enough in others. The amount of time between the left turn lane changes and the through lane going, especially at Bake and Portola, coming down Bake, turning left onto Portola, the traffic light stays green quite a while after the last vehicle has gone through. Now, I don't know if that's intentional or that's just a preset. But other than that, I want to say thanks much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're on to our one public hearing item of the evening. It's a minor plan sign program for temporary subdivision. Oh, I'm sorry. We need the consent calendar.
Yes.
And as I recall, Commissioner Ludden was not at the last meeting, so we'll need to reflect that.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments on that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second? Do we second that?
I'll say.
Oh, let's vote on that.
Motion passes 4-0 with Ludden abstaining.
I think we're now ready for the public hearing.
Now, once again, for the big moment we've been waiting for, it's our public hearing minor plan sign program for temporary subdivision signage identification. And here tonight is Marie Luna, Senior Planner, to tell us about this item.
Good evening, Chair Armando and Commissioners. As Gail indicated, the item before you tonight is a minor sign plan program for temporary subdivision signage and directional signage. The signage serves the purpose of assisting customers and directing them to the Oaks residential development located in both Portola Center Northwest and Portola Center Northeast. Portola Center Northwest, located at the northwest intersection of Glen Ranch and Saddleback Ranch Road, is nearly completely built out. Many new residents have moved into their new homes, and there remain only a few homes left to be constructed. However, the models will remain open and will continue to serve as the model homes for the adjacent Portola Center Northeast development. The proposed minor sign program addresses a modification to a prior sign program approved by the Planning Commission in 2015. It also adds new signage components, including 3 types of signs identified as Village Avenue flags, marketing signs, and vinyl balloon clusters. The modification would replace 6 of the community flags approved under the prior sign program with 5 new blue and white Village Avenue signs. All other signs approved under the prior sign program would remain the same. They include 8 model home identification signs, 1 sales center sign, and 1 sales center parking lot sign, and the remaining 25 blue community flags at the entrance of Portola Center Northwest. In addition, the new sign program would add the 3 new sign types for both the Northwest and Northeast developments. These would be installed in 3 separate phases, and their total number would vary between 31, 38, and 23 total signs. First, during grading operations at Portola Center Northeast, 23 blue and white flags would be installed along 3 separate locations along Glen Ranch Road. In addition, 4 marketing monument type signs would be installed, as would 4 vinyl balloon clusters. In total, 31 signage items would be installed during these grading operations. Second, during the Phase 1 home development, described as the construction of Phase 1 homes, the total number of signage items would be increased to 38. 30 of these would be blue and white flags, but the number of marketing signs and vinyl balloon clusters would remain at 4 each. And finally, during the Phase 2 development, described as after construction of Phase 1 home development and the opening of the Phase 2 home development, the number of temporary subdivision signs would drop down to 23. This would include 25 flags, 4 marketing monument signs, and 4 vinyl balloon clusters. The flags described as Village Avenue flags are similar as those formerly approved under the prior sign program for Portola Center Northwest. The flags would be 19 feet tall and include an 8-foot tall by 3-foot wide banner attached to the top of the pole. Different than the other flags, which were solid blue, these new flags will alternate between being blue and white, with the white flags displaying the Baldwin & Sons name and logo. The marketing signs, a total of 4, would be rectangular in shape and consist of 2 different sizes. One will measure 10 feet tall by 20 feet wide for a total of 200 square feet. The other will measure 16 feet tall by 32 feet wide and measure 512 square feet. These signs would be placed 1 foot above grade on 1 foot high wooden posts. At no time during the 3 development phases would these signs be placed within the vehicular line of sight or directly adjacent to Glen Ranch Road. They will be placed upon the private slopes. And finally, the village balloon clusters, a total of 4, each consisting of 5 blue and white 18-inch diameter balloons filled with air, not helium, are proposed. Each cluster will be tied onto fiberglass sticks and secured by zip ties. Cluster signs would be strategically placed at the entrance of both development areas, Portola Center Northwest and Portola Center Northeast, and also at the northeast intersection of Saddleback Ranch and Glen Ranch Roads. Pursuant to the City Sign Code, the approval of a minor plan sign program by the Planning Commission is required for temporary subdivision identification and directional signs. And although the zoning ordinance does not specify any regulations for the signage, the temporary signs are consistent with similar previously approved subdivision signage. Accordingly, staff is recommending approval of this planned sign program, and the applicant, Omar Dandashi, representing Baldwin and Sons. Thank you.
I'm just curious on the balloon clusters. Why conceivably they can change and replace those as needed? Is that they don't just set them up there and just leave them there indefinitely? I would assume they might pop or blow away or whatever. Is that replace them as needed?
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm happy to answer any of your questions, but to answer this particular one, yes, they are looked at on a regular basis, and they are replaced if they don't work. The whole idea behind them is they're really stationary with the fiberglass sticks, and the idea is to bring them in and bring them out to create a little bit of a different image as weekends come and sales pick up.
Okay, so conceivably, that's in there, they written just on the weekends?
The goal is to catch the time frame where most buyers will, probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right, okay. Great. You were just going to ask questions? Did you have something to say or anything? Or?
Pleased to be back over here. It's nice to see the Commission, but really I'm here to answer any of your questions. As Marie has mentioned, the signage program is intended to cover the life of the project as we're going through, which is why you see different stages. And so we were attempting to make sure we come back to you so you could see how we would approach it over multiple years, because as we build out, things will change, obviously, with marketing being pushed up from the northeast, shifting to the northwest to the northeast, and that's broken down into 2 phases. And so this is the intent is that as we maneuver and build more, we adjust the signage around. But we're trying to capture visibility from coming from.
Questions? We can close the public hearing and bring it back up here. Oh, I'm sorry.
How many years those signs will be up?
I would love for it to be a very short period of time, but for me to predict the market. Our absorption rate is somewhere between 3 to 4 per month, which is actually pretty good. I would say 3 to 5 years, and as it changes through its cycles. Right now, we're pretty close to catching phase 4 on the northwest, and then we have phase 5, and that's the last phase over there. And then effectively our phase 6, if you want to, continues on to the northeast. So going years.
Thank you. And do we have any more public speakers?
No, we do not.
Okay. Thank you. Well, Heiko, I wanted to give you a chance to say something, but thanks. All right. All right. Okay, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Let's bring it up here. Do we have anything, any discussion or anything?
Public hearing's still open.
Okay, well, we'll keep it open, but do we bring it up here, and do we have anything to say? Anybody have anything?
I'll make a motion, we close the public hearing and bring it back up here and approve staff's recommendation.
I'll second that.
All right. Let's vote.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so do we have any discussion items?
That concludes all of the agenda items.
Okay, great. Any director's comments?
I was just going to let the commission know at the next council meeting, there's an item, it's primarily concerning the Park and Rec Commission, but they're requesting to change the start time of the meeting, and that would also be for the Planning Commission meetings. And so I'll keep you apprised of that. I have no idea what the vote will be, but there's a potential that we may be starting the meeting at 6:30 as the council meetings do. That would pertain to the 3 commissions as well. So I'll let you know. I'll send an email out. And we also have some preliminary information about this year's Planning Officials Forum, which is always a great opportunity. I can't believe an entire year has gone by. It's once again going to be at the Nixon Library. I believe, Jennifer, do you know, it was a November date. I think it's early November because it conflicted with the planning conference in San Diego. So, and that's also an opportunity for the commissioners. We can send you information about the California State Planning Conference in San Diego. You may be interested in attending that as well.
Great. Any city attorney?
No comments.
Great. How about any commissioner comments?
Well, I'd just like to say I'm excited to go to the Boys and Girls Club event that Mr. Carter is spearheading, and that would be on Friday, August 24th at the Lake Forest Tucson and Sail Club, and I wanted to thank you for the invitation. Look forward to supporting your good cause.
Well, thank you. It's turning out to be an exemplary event. It's going to be, should be about 120, 140 folks in attendance. It should prove out to be a pretty interesting evening.
I'm interested in attending the Planning Directors Forum.
And I'm assuming we'll get something on that at some point.
Absolutely. I just wanted, because you're wondering, the summer's coming to an end. We'll soon have cool fall weather, and so we're starting to get notifications for some of these events coming up in the fall.
It's not like the movie The Endless Summer, I guess. It does come to an end. Okay.
When is our next meeting?
I will adjourn the meeting at this point to the next regularly scheduled meeting of September 13th.
That's right. The commission will be meeting the second Thursday of the month. And then the new traffic commission meets the 4th Thursday of the month. And if we need to have a special meeting on any given month, we can always schedule that.
Great. That adjourns the meeting.